How you doing, bub? Welcome to the malware. I'm Matt. Good to see you again. Got a topic that's near and dear to my heart. We also got a kitty in my lap. Say hi, Noodle. Anyway, this is the unfortunate news that came out about Overwatch 2, or whatever the hell Overwatch 2 is now. And I want to talk to you. I want to kind of EFAP this video by Samito. And he's a prominent Overwatch YouTuber. Great guy. Seems like super nice guy. Has interesting, funny takes on Twitter, on YouTube, and that sort of thing. And let's just go over it. Let's pause and get our thoughts on exactly what he's thinking, because I think we're gonna match up on that. Here we go.
Overwatch 2 was canceled this week. And I know what you might think. A lot of people on Twitter have sat there and said, oh, Overwatch 2 is not canceled, streamers. The PvE is still coming out. You're lying.
Okay, already. Yeah, and he's going to get into this, but it has been canceled. Overwatch 2 is canceled. The real reason why it's called Overwatch 2, the PvE stuff, the stuff that's going to be the big skill trees.
This is clickbait. This is manipulation. And I'm telling you, that is a load of horse manure. Overwatch 2 and the reason for Overwatch 2's entire existence was canceled. Anybody who tries to tell you that is not the case are lying through their teeth, especially the people at Activision Blizzard, who should be ashamed of themselves for not coming forward with this information at the launch of the game, where
they should be, though. They really should be. I don't think it's obviously the game director. I don't think it's Aaron Keller's fault at all. I mean, I think he unfortunately inherited the problem. And I think it's why Jeff Kaplan left, to be honest. There was too many resources put into PvE, and we want the bottom dollar, or we want the biggest amount of dollar for the least amount of work at Blizzard.
Allegedly, according to how many people,
which is absurd,
like Frito from your Overwatch and GameSpot have read from Aaron Keller's words, that they've known that this version of PvE had been canceled since the launch of the game. And while there were many people buying skins from the shop under the assumption, I would say that less people would have been buying battle passes and shop skins had they known, oh yeah, by the way, the whole reason for Overwatch 2's existence and the whole 2 in the game, the PvE, that's been canceled. We're just making a Call of Duty campaign.
This is hard to say. Making the campaign is very weird, just to cancel the cool part of PvE and give us a campaign experience. It's to an extent, I agree with him that I don't know.
There's a massive difference between a Borderlands-esque game with skill trees and not infinite replayability, but massive amounts of replayability, and a Call of Duty campaign that actually was already coming out in Overwatch 1 with the Archives event. So,
yeah, so we were getting Archives events ever since like 2017, 2018, right? Every year it was like a new Archives event during the basically the anniversary. Every year. Look, I've been playing Overwatch since 2016 when it came out. I didn't play the beta because I was not on PC at the time. But man, this game series, this whole world was such a cool world, and I'm so disappointed that they're taking what could have been just a bunch of missions. They don't have to do anything in depth. They could do Mass Effect missions. You know, Mass Effect Online 3 Andromeda, they could do those, and they just, I don't know what they were doing.
There was no
they canceled it in 2019, by the way.
Need for Overwatch 2. It was a cash grab marketing scam, totally. SCAM, that made them abandon the first game for years and just try to cash grab reskins and
so while we were waiting for this effing game for years, what were they doing? Nothing to Overwatch 1. They were building something in Overwatch 2, and now we've reverted to old systems.
Creating shop, battle passes, which I'm okay with if they're actually fair, which this one was not, and it ruined the game integrity, which we'll talk about in a minute as to how it was implemented. But anybody who tries to tell you that this has not been the biggest manipulation and scam in multiplayer gaming history.
In terms of, in my opinion, battle pass and that sort of thing, the battle pass is fine, except for hiding heroes in it. And I know that's what they want to manipulate you into paying the battle pass for, but that's scummy as hell. And in a game where it's a hero shooter, you need all the heroes to understand what's going on to even play the best hero in the game. It's kind of absurd that you have to unlock them.
Is lying through their teeth. And we're going to talk about today and really break down the changes from Overwatch 1 to Overwatch 2 and the reality of it now that we know the reason for the 2 no longer exists. And let's take a look at just how scummy and bad this actually is. Let's talk about the removal of features going into Overwatch 2. And the reason for that is the developers described Overwatch 1's engine as duct tape. And everything that was in it was connected by the roll. You couldn't reach in and grab something out of the middle of the roll of duct tape and just put it somewhere else because it only exists in the roll of tape. So there's a reason why the rank system wasn't just copy-pasted. A rank system that people liked in Overwatch 1, it was not copy-pasted into Overwatch 2 because they had to remake the entire thing because they had to remake an engine for the idea of Overwatch 2. Hence why we now have a worse version of Ranked, which everybody has pretty much accepted is worse. There's no...
Ranked has been garbage ever since Overwatch 2 came out. And I haven't played it all this season. Season 4. I got Season 3's, 1, 2, and 3's, the Mythic skin, the Battle Pass, and Season 4, man, I just haven't cared at all. This game has been dog for a while. And then hearing about this PvE stuff, man, I just can't play.
Top 500 parts of the leaderboard, so you can't see how many games you need to go up to actually pass somebody. People were tied for rank 1 at the equivalent of 5,000 SR throughout many of the seasons. The matchmaker was busted, right? For season 4 right now, and they finally just put out a fix to actually have your rank update and go up. Like I was winning 5 games, going 5-0 and deranking on the top 500 leaderboard. So
crazy.
You can't even tell if you're winning and losing anymore. It's just been casualified. It's Overwatch Light. It's ranked light, and you're going to hear me refer to Overwatch Light a lot.
They wanted to cater a lot of the casual audience by making Overwatch 2, because that's what free to play kind of brings in, the more casual audience. But seeing walking away from the ranked is kind of ridiculous. Like they're not catering to a ranked experience. I'm sure the majority of players are playing quick play. It's fun in quick play for a couple sessions, but then in the beta they had the unranked, which was the better way to play. In maps like Numbani here, you have an attacker and defender side. And so playing the unranked mode would give you the ability to play both attacker and defender in the same match, just like in ranked. And then they took that away. They just threw it out and brought back the regular unrated whatever stupid system that they have right now. It's
throughout
ridiculous.
This video, because that's what Overwatch 2 is. It's a trimmed down version of Overwatch 1 marketed falsely as a new game. It is not a new game. It is an update. It is Overwatch 0.9, I dare say. I know Donkey was saying Overwatch 1.5, but if you really think about what I'm about to break down to you, it's a downgrade, at every level for the PvP. So we're going to keep talking about that, right? But because of that duct tape-like model, they had to remake everything, starting with the rank system. And if you remember, there's a reason why LFG feature is not there anymore. There's a reason why the workshop wasn't really apparent, right? Because all of these things had to be redone because of how Overwatch is made. So we really have lost features. We're just now getting back the On Fire system. We're going to continue to get more updates as time goes on, but you're slowly seeing these things be reverted to exactly how they were in Overwatch 1. For example, now they added the feature finally where you can see the rank of the match you're in competitive, which you could not before. You didn't even know the average rank of the competitive game you were queuing. We've lost our borders, our rank borders. Did you grind a lot of Overwatch 1, the thing that made you feel special? Well, now, sorry, we can't have anybody be feeling special for their...
Yeah, we lost borders. Not only that, we lost seasons. If you've been playing since day 1, all of your season progress is gone. You try to go load it up in Overwatch. Try to look back at season. Try to go before season 30. Can't happen. They're gone.
Border that they played thousands of hours of Overwatch for. Like, I had just hit Diamond Border at the end of Overwatch 1. I felt great about my border. It looked awesome. They just removed it.
Yep.
They literally just straight up removed it, and you can't even see the data of your previous seasons of playing Overwatch from season 1 to season like 33. I think now you can only see it season 35. And there were 36 seasons of Overwatch before it shut down. So all of that history is just gone. You can't see it. It's gone. They took it out. So the seasons that I was rank 1 and my peak in Overwatch 1, all of those years of work, you can't even flex it.
Right.
You can't even do that. They took it out of the game.
They took it out of the game.
There's less substance.
It's less stuff.
Right?
You can't even
and
look
so
for
now,
groups. You can't stay with your team.
Let's talk about 6v6 compared to 5v5. I'm just going to say it. 6v6 was better. It was better. You could do more. Tanking was more fun.
Tanking was a lot more fun in 6v6. The combos you could do with tanking, so much better. And it makes you want to... You know how they debuffed a lot of these tanks? I guess... Yeah, I mean, that's the right... I would say nerfs, but no, they debuffed a lot of these tanks. In the Mystery Heroes mode, for example, they took out a lot of that stuff. A lot of the health, at least. And it makes me want to see a game where it's 6v6 with the heroes, the tank heroes having less health. Still being tanky, but having just that lesser health pool that they have in Mystery Heroes, in everything but the regular Overwatch game. Well, I bet it'd be pretty fun to see.
You can't tell me that they couldn't just remove the CC that everyone was asking for or tried to balance 6v6, which, shocker, this development team never did. Do you want to know why? Because they didn't have people capable of balancing the game.
Right.
The same thing I've said since 2019. Double shield was fixable.
Been balanced for a long time.
And you don't do it by nerfing the barriers. How about this? How about, instead of having the poke tanks in the game that have the best shields in the game, how about you don't give them the best sustain abilities in the game as well? Orisa Fortified, they removed the ability to headshot it, and it reduced like 40% of damage. And
Ridiculous.
Sigma Grasp was unpierceable by most characters. So the only downside that should have been there for characters that have shields and range poke is that you get on top of them and they don't have sustain. Allowing if you want to refer to Yeedle's video about Overwatch comps explaining the cycle of comps, when they gave the bunker comps the best sustain in the game, they were unbeatable by dive, which by dive should be what beats or does well into poke.
Yeah,
but you couldn't really play it that much because there was so much.
Thinking into that, dive is like Diva Winston or Wrecking Ball. Those tanks should be able to drop on teams that are just sitting there, not moving. They should be able to easily drop on these guys and take them out. That's the whole point. Like a poke v poke, a Sigma Orisa double shield versus a Sigma Orisa double shield. That's just gonna poke at each other, right? A rushdown comp like Reinhardt, Roadhog, like Junker Queen now. Imagine Junker Queen in 6v6. She would have been sweet. A Rein Junker Queen where Junker Queen could pull them into Rein. Oh my god, it would have been so cool.
Much sustain on cooldown that there was no way to break it. But the devs, they weren't smart enough to fix this. Do you want to know why? Because they don't understand.
Imagine Junker Queen Ramattra. Oh my god, that'd be so cool. Sorry.
Their own game. And finally, if people aren't coming out and talking about how incompetent not just Activision Blizzard are, but this dev team is too, I'm sorry, cut the malarkey. This is DEFCON 5. It's done. They've showed what they're capable of, and it's not much, which is why a lot of people have been leaving. And I don't even know what to say other than that. I'm not going to get too much into it, but it's not all on Activision Blizzard because this mess was created by the dev team initially. So
yeah,
now you have
it's a
simpler.
little bit of both. I'll give them that. It's definitely like the dev team are the ones who they took a lot of these features out because they were building a new engine. It seems to have taken a long time to build a new engine. It's like, where did all this work go? Years of work. And don't talk about, oh, it was all COVID. It was all the coof. There's no way. Lots of production was being done during COVID. So I don't understand
For Overwatch Lite, 5v5 is Overwatch Lite compared to 6v6. It's a simpler version of the game, right? Where there's less tank synergy. There's less synergy in general. And also, you've got heroes behind play and paywalls for the new model.
Yes.
So right now, the big fear about having characters be locked in competitive is what if one of the DLC heroes becomes hard meta? Kind of like Junker Queen is right now. And people, certain tanks, just have to sit there and say, oh, sorry, guys, I don't have Junker Queen unlocked, and she's the best hero in the game. That is so much worse for PvP.
Totally.
And the only way to get it, if you didn't buy the hero, is to do these hero challenges where, like Ramatra's, you have to queue like 30 games while flexed for all roles. Ramatra, who, by the way, was the best rush tank on the previous patch,
yep.
who also was locked for people unless you bought the Season 2 Battle Pass.
Too. It's
or Season 3, I think.
The model of taking your heroes and putting them behind a Battle Pass is so stupid for Overwatch, which was always new heroes will always be free. It was always that in Overwatch 1. Bring it to Overwatch 2, we're going to put them behind. They're free, but you have to build to them first, and then you can play them. Well, all these people are not going to learn how to play the character anymore. It's ridiculous.
What? Like, this is like in Overwatch 1, if you bought the game, you like the game did a good job of supplying both teams with the equal amount of resources. So it was about player skill. But now, if you're not buying these heroes as they come out, you are at a disadvantage because you either have to play to unlock the character and do these hero challenges that should not exist, right? That should not exist, or just don't have the character and don't have that tool at your disposal. The game integrity of Overwatch has been ruined by this, and we're only in Season 5. This is a concern we talked about.
We're coming up on Season 5 now, and I haven't played any of Season 4, pretty much none. And it's the integrity of the game. That's 5 heroes possibly. If someone walks in, 5 here. Well, I guess it's 3, Kiriko, Junker Queen, and Sojourn. Then there's Ramatra. Then there's Lifeweaver. 5 heroes who are not there. You have to earn them to play the game, and 2 of those, Ramatra and Sojourn, are like they were hard meta. It's totally absurd.
About a little while ago, where like more and more of these characters are going to come out, and there's going to be more and more times where certain ones are meta and certain ones are not. And if you don't have the character, especially the higher up you go in the ranks, sorry. Yeah, well, maybe you should have bought the Battle Pass all those seasons ago in a game that, we didn't need to make. And look, I'm okay with maybe having heroes behind the Battle Pass and the free-to-play track for a little bit, but one season after they're out, or if they end up being strong, or at least in competitive, they should just be unlocked for everybody. And so now they've sacrificed game integrity for the Battle Pass and monetization. So they've removed features. The ones they added back are worse.
Yep.
And now the heroes, which are the life essence of the game, the developers have said this. Some of them are unobtainable for new players and or players who've been playing for a while if they didn't play in those seasons, or for a lot of people who are quitting, waiting for the PvE to come back, who might have missed Ramatra, who might have missed Junker Queen, who might have
waiting for PvE, a cool experience with these new heroes. And it's like
all of these things. Ridiculous. Now we'll have to go down this horrendous path just to unlock the best characters in the game.
It makes me want to become a game dev and literally just make 36 heroes, whatever we're at now, with 37. I forget the number now. And similar attacks, and just make a PvE experience with them. It just makes me want to do that. I don't even know the first thing about game
that
dev.
Is catastrophic. That is awful. Years. That is objectively worse than Overwatch 1. So now you look at the shop, right? Let's go to the shop. The shop is the only thing that actually got upgraded, believe it or not.
Funnily enough, the one thing that got upgraded, the shop.
Who could have guessed? And I'm okay with them making money off the game. I'm not.
Yeah, they were making no money before. So it's fine that Blizzard's making money off the game. That's I'm right there with him. They need to make money for the game to then be a live service game, right? But
okay with them lying they didn't lie. They just didn't tell us.
They omitted the truth of PvE.
Well, now, when allegedly they had known for months that
they'd known for
the original vision of PvE would be canceled. And if that announcement had come out, I can assure you, way less people would be buying skins in the shop.
Well, no, see, I don't fully agree with that, because I watched a video of Flats the other day, another amazing Overwatch streamer, content creator, and he was talking about this sort of stuff too, where he doesn't think that like the reason why people were so mad about one of the Kiriko skins, and a lot of the skins, was the price. Like, it was $20 for a pretty garbage skin. The Moira skin, oh my god. The Mime Moira skin was the same Overwatch 2 skin with a hat and face paint. It was the same thing, and it was 2,000 credits. So $20. What is that? That is utter
way
garbage.
Less people would be buying the battle pass for new characters because we're under the assumption that we're going to have that character unlocked and be able to go play their skill trees when the PvE comes out.
That would be so cool.
That is absolutely a reason why you'd want to buy and unlock the character and grind to unlock the character. And they just didn't tell us while many people were buying it, and I was encouraging my community to buy it, not knowing that that rug would get pulled out from under us. I am so sorry to all of my audience who I told that this game actually was going to be good when the PvE came out and all this stuff.
Yeah, I did like one of the biggest shills, and I'm saying that as a polite term, the biggest shills for Blizzard when they were going through all their Bobby Kotick bullshit, and he, man, throw him out. Please throw him out. Activision Blizzard. Can someone get rid of him, please? He is a garbage chute. He's not pleasing the fans. Just like there's so many Bobs in the in the CEO entertainment space. Bob Iger. Don't get me started on Bob Iger with Disney. My God, is that guy a piece of trash? The point is, get these idiotic CEOs out. They want to make the most money, but they're not catering to fans. They're not catering to the people who are giving them money. If you're giving us a soulless, lifeless piece of garbage, we're not going to pay for it. And that's what Overwatch is becoming. I think the developers really love the game. I think Sam goes into, let's see.
Did not know that they were going to do this. And it is so disingenuous as someone who prides himself on his honesty and saying what needed to be said no matter.
He's totally apologizing for like his reaction and chilling, right? For Blizzard, because he was excited for the PvE. We were all excited for the PvE. It sounds like the greatest thing, especially with these characters that so many of us love. Widowmaker. Widowmaker. Diva. The characters I love. Zenyatta. Zenyatta is one of the coolest creatures, one of the coolest created characters in all of created things. He was one of my favorite characters of all time. Reinhardt, one of the greatest guys of all time. One of the coolest characters, voiced by one of the coolest guys. Incredible stuff. Overwatch has so much. They had so much. So much of the world, so much potential. All of their shorts, they rival and are better than Pixar shorts. That's the reason why a lot of people bought the game. The Dragons one with Hanzo and Genji. The one I love the most, a lot of people kind of forget about, is the Bastion one. Bastion's, it's kind of Wall-E-esque introduction to the universe. In his short was just incredible, so good. I would love to, man. I could talk about those all day, but it's just so terrible that we're gonna get rid of what everyone was excited about in the game Overwatch 2 for whatever this is, whatever we've got, which is just bad. It's worse versions of the game. And sure, some of these features are coming back, but as Sam was saying, in a lesser capacity. And so, look, I appreciate you stopping by. It's ridiculous what they've done. I'm going to try to, back to full screen. Here we go. Thank you. Appreciate you. And tell me what you think about this whole situation. You're an Overwatch fan, just like me. I love Overwatch. And fortunately, I can't find myself back into this game. Throw the PvE out. I think the campaign might be cool, but it's a campaign. We all know what that means. Call of Duty Zombies is PvE. Call of Duty World at War campaign is a campaign. Against, sure, PvE sort of things, but we know what PvE means. We know what it means. Stop trying to gaslight us, Blizzard. Okay? Appreciate you. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. Talk to you later. Have a good one. Have a good day, dear. God, this blizzard, man.